This is a persuasive presentation, and the topic that I'm going to be discussing tonight is on AIDS. With this presentation, it is my intent to persuade my audience to support some AIDS prevention programs that I have established or will try to establish within my area. AIDS is a serious health problem, and it can destroy families, people in general, and our whole society can be affected by the AIDS epidemic. Worldwide, it's an epidemic. AIDS is. It is therefore considered a killer because the victims eventually will die from the having AIDS. I'm going to use Monroe's motivated sequence to establish my the goals and everything as they are going to be set forth for this presentation. I'm going to start with attention, which means getting the attention and interest of the people by emphasizing the issues. There's going to be a need. By doing this step, the problem can well be expounded and explained. Satisfaction. Ensure that the audience can hear resolutions about the problem that is being raised, which is going to be AIDS. Visualization. To see if the audience has executed the impact of the speech that was made. And finally, action. Show the audience that the speech calls for active action and involvement and movement from them. We're going to start with attention. AIDS, as I had said, is an epidemic, and we're going to tell you about what AIDS, the virus AIDS is. AIDS is acquired immune deficiency syndrome. It isn't a disease in itself. Rather, AIDS is a condition that develops when a person or person's body has been weakened by the HIV, which is a human immune deficiency virus. HIV is found in the blood and sexual fluids and spreads mainly through unprotected sex and sharing of hypodermic needles and also equipment. AIDS is a serious health issue, as I said. Well, problem in general, and it has to deal with issues in our society for many reasons now. It is therefore important to address the issue now and make broad movement about it. Don't wait till it's out of hand, because in some countries it's already out of hand. So here in the United States, we are trying to develop these programs that will educate the people, let them know where to go get help, what they need to do to stop the spread of HIV, and so on and so on. So there's a need for this. AIDS currently is a serious problem in our society today. Yes, today. It is important to implement programs to make people aware and notice the graveness of this problem. This will enable people to prevent them from contracting AIDS. The AIDS prevention program is really relevant for this day and time. For our society. This shall be supported not only by the federal government. I'm talking about my programs. It shall not only be supported by the federal government, but by local and state agencies as well. Also private and public organizations who want to donate funds or so forth, or will be able to do so as well. Then we go to satisfaction. In order to get many to address the issue, we've decided to have fundraising activities. Yes, fundraising activities. And I think this will bring more awareness to this AIDS epidemic. We decided we're going to sell baked goods, which consist of cakes, cookies, and so forth. And we're going to have several car washes. And we're going to have silent auctions where we've had different companies that have donated items for our silent auction. Then we're going to have, we go to visualization. I want you to visualize this. If every member of the community would gather together and help each other to raise the needed funds, the community will then be able to prevent AIDS and make AIDS prevention programs possible. And we can start with our community, that other communities can see how we're doing here, and they may want to come in and say, hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? And implement the same program in their area. And that way the awareness of AIDS will spread on and on and just keep on going. It will not stop. It keep going on and on and on. And that's what our plan is, to get the people in the communities aware of the programs. If we have these programs that will make them aware of what is going on as far as AIDS, the society will be able to fight this killer disease, and we'll be able to save many lives right here in our own communities. Right here in our own communities, we'll be able to save lives. And it starts, like they say, charity starts at home, then spreads abroad. We're going to start this here in our community. And then, like I said earlier, someone else from another community may come in and see what we're doing and want to implement it in their area and see it spreading and going on and on and on and on. Okay, then we're going to come to action. We've said all of this, and you could just hear me speaking and so on and so on. But until you actually put into action what you're going to do, your plan of action, what you're going to do to assist the AIDS awareness programs in your community, you got to show that the speech calls for action. And action mean active. You got to get out there and be active about it. As movement, get out there and move about it. Telling people about, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to have this on this day and so forth. We would love for you to come and tell them what it's about. And then you got to be excited yourself about what you are out there promoting. And then when I come to, when I think about AIDS, I didn't have this written down, but I have a family member who has AIDS. And it's a very sad thing to see someone when they're struggling with AIDS. And there's a young person, a young male relative to be exact. It's sad to see that all that what he's going through could have been possibly could have been prevented if he had only used condoms, which he did not do. So as a result, he's now has AIDS. It's really sad. So in my conclusion, I did the Monroe's motivation sequence was used. I got your attention. I told you that AIDS was a grave killer. We need AIDS prevention programs, and how we are in need of funds and how we plan on getting those funds. The satisfaction, having fundraisers such as car washes, selling of baked goods, silent auctions. All these things will generate the necessary funds to help the programs in our communities. Visualization, you can help people to fight you can see with your efforts that you're actually helping people fight this horrible disease. Well, disease, yes, this is a disease. It says not, but help people fight this horrible epidemic. And then action. We're putting it in action because we're actually doing something. We plan on doing something. We don't plan on just sitting by the side and just doing all this talking and this, but we plan on putting all that we have discussed before by doing, like I said, plan on doing the baked goods, selling the baked goods, and we're going to sell baked goods. We're going to do car washes and silent auctions. Whatever it's going to take for us to get the necessary funds started to have these programs that will be available to those, to let people know how important the epidemic of AIDS has gotten. It's not just locally in my community or in your community. It's all over the entire world. And each person, if they take the time and give their time, and just like we're going to do, to make people aware of the seriousness of it. Because some people say, well, I'm not going to get AIDS because I don't do this, I don't do that. Just keep on having unprotected sex, sharing hypodermic needles. Sometimes this will catch up with you. So In my conclusion, I says, as you see, we were able to apply Monroe's motivational sequence, which assisted us to deliver the efficient and effective presentation. All of the steps were well followed. We followed every step. Every step was followed. We gave you the attention, the need, satisfaction, visualization, and action. Every step, all the steps were followed as per the Monroe's motivation sequence for this persuasive presentation. I could have said more, but I'm going to stop right now because, like I say, AIDS is really an epidemic, and it needs, the awareness of it needs to be passed on to other communities, other cities, other states, to other countries, not only in the United States, but Africa. You got all of them all over the world. And sometimes it can be a silent killer. People don't even know they have AIDS. But it can be a silent killer. So that's why we need to educate the masses about AIDS and how serious AIDS is. Thank you very much.